You're going to see some footage that I have mixed feelings about sharing with you. In 2002, I was contacted via email by a young man who identified himself as Kirk. He was a researcher who lived in Novi, Michigan. He told me via email that he had Bible code software and that it had revealed some very significant information to him. I wrote him back a very stern, scolding note saying I place no stock in that whatsoever, and that he shouldn't either. He called me then and said, "You have to look at this." He said he had bought the software, which contained New Testament Greek texts as well as the Old Testament Hebrew texts, that he had purchased this particular program from an Australian vendor in preference to other software because it contained the New Testament text as well as the Old. He said he had ran all the usual suspects through and confessed to me quite candidly he thought he might find a clue or two to the Antichrist's identity. He said he ran all the usual suspects through that folks were talking about in those days, and that nothing meaningful came up on anybody. He then said that he heard me talk about Javier Solana on my radio program, Law Talk, WMUZ 2003, which ran for 13 years on that station, 103.5 FM in Detroit, the Crawford station. And he had decided to insert Javier Solana's name into the computer search software. And he said he was dumbfounded. He said it had come up like a crossword puzzle on everything. He said it came up like 22 times in the book of Revelation, came up in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. Every letter of his name went through a separate line of the prophecy on the man of perdition. It came up in all the 3 Gospels on the abomination of desolation, and he was more proficient with the Hebrew than I'm pretty comfortable with the Greek, and the Greek is what you will see on this exhibition at any rate. And he said it frankly had come up on every prophecy in the Bible, and that he was dumbfounded and didn't know where to take it. I frankly at that point felt I could not ignore it, that statistically when you considered that occurring together with Javier Solana's job being created by Section 666 of the Europa Code, and Javier Solana proposing and receiving boosted powers over Europe for himself with Recommendation 666, and Javier Solana's continuous role in the Israeli peace process, claiming that he would find a permanent solution for peace in the Middle East, he certainly could not be at this point ruled out. And so I'm presenting the information to you for what it's worth. It might not be worth anything. It might be that Javier Solana just had a very unlucky combination of names and sheer coincidence when it came to Recommendation 666 and Section 666 and all the other things that have gone with it. But given the confluence of events and its obvious parallels with prophecy at this point, I feel I must present it. And I will, of course, value your feedback, and I would like to know what you think. And as good friend Herb Peters says, stay tuned.
Endeavor Houston, a pleasant good morning to the blue team.
Good morning, Milo, and that was a lovely piano piece. Thanks for waking us up with it.
We thought you'd enjoy it.
Years of time have come and gone since I first heard it told how Jesus would come again someday. If back then it seemed so real, then I just can't help but feel
I now have a question here in the fourth row. Please stand up. Yes, you. Wait for the microphone. And I guess one can add that the prospects of Croatia eventually joining the European Union will also have a major impact upon the Balkan region as such. Please go ahead.
Thanks very much. You can hear okay?
Yeah.
Ian Manners, Danish Institute for International Studies. High Representative Solana, unfortunately, because of the Constitution, I can't call you the Foreign Minister, and you didn't, like the United States, mention the Constitution in your talk. So my question for you really is, to what extent does the failure for me to call you the Foreign Minister present problems in the day-to-day activities, many of which you've talked about today? And I suppose the open-ended question is, were you to be the Foreign Minister, what would be the sort of opportunities, what sort of things do you think we could do as a European Union for the rest of the world? Thank you.
Okay, let me first, to simplify the question, it has only one advantage, I think, because the title is so long, what I have now, that is impossible to say it, so you will end up calling me Javier. It would be much better than calling me that long thing. Now, but it's true. I was very happy with the way the Constitution in that part of foreign policy, security policy, foreign minister, etc., was developing, and I hope very much that it will come out with a yes. I have the impression that even in those countries where the no has won, as far as the Constitution as a whole is concerned, I don't think that the no has been linked to that couple of articles or 3 articles. So I think the majority of the people would have liked to have more visibility of the European Union in the world. And that is what I found in all the Eurobarometers that, as you know, are produced by the European Union every month or every 2 months. In all the Eurobarometers, when you ask the citizens of the European Union what are the policies, etc., what comes on top in the wishes and in the, I wouldn't say happiness, but in the way that they are pleased with the way it is being done, is security and foreign policy. That means that I think that the majority of the people would have liked to see this evolving in that direction. Now, the fact that I am not a minister has diminished my capabilities, diminished my yes and no, not very much in any case. I think that it has created, in a certain extent, an institutional mechanism to work which is still too cumbersome, too difficult. I mean, this summer, for instance, I have been doing acting practically as if I were a minister. I mean, I have been doing all the work, but in any case, I have to consult, to get in agreement with the presidency, I have to consult and get in agreement with the commission, and this is very easy to understand for us because we have been doing that for years. But imagine for a third country. Imagine if you are a Chinese, for instance, Prime Minister of China, which we are going to see on Sunday. When we go to see the Chinese Prime Minister, we have to go at least 3 people. And these 3 people, 2 of them, or 1 of them at least, change every 6 months. So if you are the Prime Minister of China and you have to deal with the European Union, you will be a little bit surprised that first you will receive 3 people, and at the same time these 3 people are not always the same. It may change not every 20 years or after 4 years after election, but it may change every 6 months. And so this is the type of thing that makes some difficulty. Hopefully this has been understood. They know that this is going to change, and I think that my successor will be a full minister with the possibilities of coordinating all the elements that exist in the European Union, which are many instruments: economic, political, trade, civilian, police, even military, and we will be able to control, to use all that in a coordinated fashion to get an objective. As I said in my speech, and I like to say it more directly now, the European Union evolution in foreign policy has been like the growing of a person. We began by talking, and we made statements all the time. a statement that we think that will change the world. As you know very well, a statement do not change the world. We grew a little bit, we became adolescents, and we began to write. And we produced numbers of declarations in written form and sent to everybody in the world. Many of them were never read. But we thought that was the manner to act, is to have our testimony, what we think about the problem. Now, we want action. We want to act. We want to be result-oriented. We want to solve the problems. And I think we can. As I said before, answering to the professor, we cannot close our eyes to what it is. And whatever we do institutionally that helps do things better, it should be done. And I would be very grateful if the younger generation of Europeans understand that, because you will be asked again, parliamentarily or a referendum soon, what is the most important, what is your vision about whatever it will be called, constitution, or whatever, but it will be something in order to simplify the mechanism for foreign policy.
It will be something, yes. We'll be waiting to see what it will be.
103.5 FM in Detroit, the Crawford station. And Javier Solana just had a very long combination of names and
Years of time have come and gone since I first heard it told how Jesus would come again someday. If back then it seemed so real, then I just can't help but feel how much closer this coming is today. Signs of the times are everywhere, and there's a brand new feeling in the air. Keep your eyes upon the eastern sky. Lift up your head, redemption draweth nigh.
combination of names and sheer. The various clips you have been viewing are from the New Testament. It's from the program called Code Finder, and it's the New Testament in the Greek, laid out without any spaces in between the words. And what is spelled out is Javier Solana's name using the Greek letters. And it is interspersed with 103.5 FM in Detroit, I thought would add Crawford to your station. Understanding of what and Javier Solana just had a very unlucky combination of names and sheer. The various clips you have been viewing are from the New Testament. It's from the program called Code Finder, and it's the New Testament in the Greek, laid out without any spaces in between the words. And what is spelled out is Javier Solana's name using the Greek letters. And it is interspersed with 103.5 FM in Detroit, I thought would add Crawford to your station. Understanding of what you Javier Solana just had a very unlucky combination of names and sheer.
Thank you.